Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I very much appreciate you. It is exactly 12 Central, so we'll get going with our latest presentation on our latest products. Again, thanks for having you guys. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate you. There's still a lot of people coming in, but you know it's 12, so let's get the party started. My name is Slavi Younger-Nightingale. I'm one of the co-founders of Frasch. If you're new to Frasch channel and this is the first time you're joining us, let me just tell you really quickly what we do. Frasch is a manufacturer of acoustical products. We do products for walls, ceilings, as well as dividers and acoustical lighting. My name is, like I said, Slavi Younger. I am one of the founders at Frasch here. And I do a lot of education, a lot of introduction of new products, CEs, things like that. And I also dabble in all of our marketing and art direction, that kind of stuff. You know, the creative side of things, that's sort of my jam. Today, I'm super excited to show you something. And you probably guys think I'm a little excitable. I say it a lot. But this one is really, really something very special. It's called PIXL. And it's actually quite different yet very similar to products we already carry and how it fits within it. So what is PIXL? We will talk about what it is, what kind of product it is, how you can use it, its performance as well as installation. This actually should be relatively short intro because this product is so versatile yet very simple. So what is PIXL? The way PIXL is built, you can kind of think of it, if you're familiar with PET felt, it is built as if you took the 9mm sheet of PET and then added additional, in our case, either squares or rounds on top that are much poofier, right? They're actually much more squishy, if you will, and that is because that allows it to actually absorb more NRC, or like more reverberation, right? So that makes it really effective sound absorptive. This is sort of a drawing, so you can kind of imagine what these things look like. If you see, like, it's less than 2 inches as far as what would stick out from the wall. You kind of can see here how it's built, right? So you have that thin 9mm PET, and then you have the shapes on top of it. Sorry for this busy slide on performance, but this is really, really interesting. And I really thought it's worth explaining a little bit about what this means, right? So as all of our products, we do get them tested. We check how they perform when they directly adhere to a wall. And also, if they're also a ceiling product, we do test how they perform in their normal, in the application they're intended to be used. So the 2 tests we've done, which is direct adhere to a wall, we've got really, really good results. If you guys sat through any of our classes, you know anytime you adhere NRC into a wall, you can lose as much as half of the performance. So the NRC of PIXL, like I said, less than 2 inches thick, will be at 0.8, is at 0.8. So very, very high sound absorption. But the ceiling thing is actually even more interesting. Yes, it's at 1, which means perfect absorption. What does perfect absorption mean? Is every sound that reaches that particular material will be absorbed, right? So perfect performance. But what's really even more interesting is that PIXL actually absorbs sound across all the frequencies. The part that are circled in yellow, that's kind of what you're talking about, right? So the majority of sound absorptive materials will do very good job at absorbing the middle range, right? So the middle range would be a speaking person, right? Speaking human, which is important, and it's the critical part, and that's why it's important. But what's really interesting about PIXL, it actually also addresses the low frequencies and high frequencies. That's why I added this picture to the left to kind of show us, like, okay, well, what is really the low frequency, high frequency? So low frequency would be like the humming in a background, you know, that kind of thing. It's almost more like things you can almost more feel than hear, right? And then things that have really high frequency, it's, you know, we kind of confuse what that is depending on the decibels, right? But it's sort of the machine type thing that can get really, really loud, all the way to frequencies we cannot hear. And as I was researched, so that's just kind of where you guys see why I'm excited about this, right? I hope my explanation wasn't too convoluted, right? But the important thing to remember is it absorbs everything at 1 NRC, mean perfect absorptions through all frequencies. And I'm talking about the frequencies that human ear can detect. Because as I was going down this rabbit hole and putting two things together, I kept popping up this like low frequency, high frequency for a bunch of other animals. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I will share it with my gang. I'll show them. If you were super curious what your dog or cat or dolphin can hear, well, here you go. We are just that little orange part right there as far as the frequencies that we can hear. It's the middle of the road, right? So a lot of these guys actually can hear things we don't even know they're out there, right? So that's kind of about PIXL. So what can you expect as far as what you get from us? There are 2 shapes, square and round, and there's 2 color combos in each, right? So in squares, you can get the white poof with gray backing, or you can get the light gray poof with dark backing, and the same combination is around the round idea, right? They actually do all come in 2 foot by 4 foot pieces, right? That's what makes it, that's what is one piece, right? 2 foot by 4 foot. So first, let's look at ceilings. Let's look at how we can use it for the ceiling. So the intent behind PIXL and ceiling has been to utilize the T-grid, right? Drop ceiling. You probably have heard me say before that we have been really focusing on how do we help the world with that is interested in more creative, more special ceilings, but exposed ceiling with a lot of really fancy baffles or clouds is just not in a budget, or it's not the look you're going after. So if that is not in the cards, regular drop ceiling with boring tile should not be just the only other option, right? So we keep looking for something that's in between, right? So T-grid is one of the least expensive options that there are. Everybody's super familiar how to use it, how to apply it. You don't have to make you don't have to finish out the ceiling because it's exposed, right? Because that's really the most expensive part of it. So you can kind of think about, okay, instead of regular tile, I can put these in. So the 2x4 PIXL tile does have a little lip on the side, which allows you to actually just drop in the tile. And of course, you can also cut it into 1x1 in the field very easily to accommodate 1x1 T-grid structure. Here's just another look of it. This is this sort of like alternating colors, right? This looks so cool. This is another one, another application that kind of shows you again the T-grid. You can paint the T-grid to match perfectly. You can make it stand out, right? There's a lot of things we can do with it, and also this material does allow very easy cuts to be done in the field. And I'll show you a little bit more on that in a little bit. This actually right here is just a quick shot taken with my cell phone in our headquarters. So as you can see, I actually love the fact that there's still the old tile around it, so you can see the difference, right? The impact of ugly, boring tile versus something this fun. The cutting around the light is incredibly simple. It's the little poofs remove just with your hand, and then you use your template cut out exactly where you need the opening, depending what it is, your sprinkler heads, your light, and things like that. So very, very straightforward. Here's just a drawing representation of what I showed you earlier. Again, they just drop in like a tile would drop in into a traditional T-grid. And oh, my little picture disappeared. I had this little template that showed how the thing is cut. I'm not sure where it has gone, but it really is just kind of showing you, okay, you remove the circles just by hand to where you need the space, and then you do your cuts literally the same way you would do it into a drop tile, the traditional tile. So that's a little bit about walls, ceilings. Let's look at walls, right? So with walls, it goes on the walls wherever you feel like you need sun absorption, right? I mean, I could give you a million examples. However, because of the performance, it is, I can see it working really well in places where they use lots of technology, right? You spend a lot of time virtually with people. You're actually building a podcast studio, right? So where you really want to take the reverb as low as possible, conference rooms and things like that. I mean, in today's age, we spend, even those of us that work in the office, we actually talk to you guys like this, long distance all the time. So, you know, how you sound matters, right? The experience will be different if people can understand you clearly and there's not a lot of reverb that can be quite annoying. So here's just some ideas how you can definitely approach that. Like I said, this is, again, super simple install. No need to furrow out walls. No need to create air cavity behind the product because it performs so well. So it's like literally minutes to put this stuff up. This is another application where it's actually on the ceiling and walls. This is sort of a ballroom, right? For trade show ballroom, you can absolutely imagine how well it would absorb all that noise. You know, it's just a beautiful shape. You know, this is like a little cafe approach. Like I said, the install super easy. You can glue it to a wall, or you can actually just screw or nail it through the in between the poofs. And as long as you match your screw head to the color of the PT, you can't see it. We actually have some of them in our office, and I'll show you kind of what that looks like. The biggest thing, the most exciting part about this product is, and also a reason why we only are bringing it to you really in 2 colors, is because how amazing printing looks on it. I do think because of that pixelation, it adds it another layer. It doesn't just look like, yeah, they just printed something. It just looks really, really incredible. And because of that, you can really do all kinds of really interesting things. So isn't this space amazing, right? Doesn't this look gorgeous? And this is a selection of one, it's just a high-res close-up image of leaves, right? This is literally all it is. But there's something about it being divided up like this that really kind of elevated, right? Like it looks even more interesting. And you know, also wallpapers are coming back. I feel like it's kind of on trend when it comes to that, just doing some very interesting things like that. I also think it's really great for differentiating by colors, right? Or using this as a wayfinders. You can obviously do text, all kinds of different things, as you can see. But the important thing also is we will be able to match, because we do get asked this a lot. Can you give me exact color for something? With this, we can answer yes. If you provide a Pantone code or CMYK code, we will match to whatever the school colors or the vision you have, that you have specific fabric that you're using in your design. You can absolutely now match it on this product. This is just another fun way, right? Seeing high-res photo next to a solid color choice, what you can do. These actually are done on a dark backing, right? So you can get slightly different idea there. And I kind of touched on this, right? So this particular image was created as a photorealistic rendering, right? But even with the photorealistic rendering, you start with ideas, right? You start with the 3D file of the product, and these are actually the colors that I chose that I wanted to use in this, right? So they are real colors. These are real Pantone colors that are put in this image to kind of give you an idea that if that's, let's say, is your designer palette for a project, that really they can now say, hey, here's how I arranged it, here's how I want it, and they can actually, we can actually make it a reality. So I think that's super special there. So I also wanted to, again, just my trusty iPhone pictures and my lack of skills of taking photos, so there's nothing fancy about this, but this is a picture in our in our showroom, in our big conference room, of, you know, just some succulents. Isn't this gorgeous, right? It's actually, the picture doesn't do justice. It looks so impressive in person. It's really pretty. And then on the smaller pictures, you can kind of see the close-up of what it looks like, right? That the pixels, the fact it's kind of three-dimensional, all that stuff, it looks really, really cool. And on one of the walls, we have a Texas flag, because, you know, we're in Texas, we got to do it, but but I'm including it here so you can see different look, right? So the gray parts, it's not printed on, and also this is these are circles instead of the squares, so you can kind of see what the prints look like. So this is how simple it is. This is how impactful it is. I mean, I cannot wait. I'm most excited about this. Only other thing that comes close is Strata Wood, because I had that feeling like, I get that this fits in so many places. When it's just simple and obvious, that's what it feels like. Oh yeah, this is right? When things are overcomplicated, you're like, maybe not. But I mean, I cannot wait till you guys use it in your design, come up with your amazing ideas, your colors, your layouts, you know, your photography, what have you. And I can include that maybe on a refresher down the way. I mean, I have to tell you, is there's some other options we played around. You know, can over time, depending how this is accepted, can we do pieces that at two different elevations, right? So you kind of create yet another look. Can we introduce different colors or things like that? But for now, I'm just curious to see what happens with this initial introduction, and what once it takes a life of its own, right? What that really kind of ends up being. So, you know, me and poll questions, I love to ask you what you guys think, just so that I, for a second here, don't feel like I'm talking to myself. So the question is today is, as far as printing, what do you think designers will be most drawn to use? And let me launch it. So the choices are, and just pick one: nature-inspired prints, solid colors, abstract images, or the face of Gary Nightingale. If you're like, who is this Gary Nightingale? This is our fearless leader. He doesn't know I put it in here. He's the president of Frasch. And also, he happened to be my husband. So I can kind of get away with being little. See, no one wants his face. Nobody thinks his face is the future of PIXL. Okay, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. So anyway, I just want to compliment you guys. Always so many, 80% respond. Like, how cool are you guys? Like, you guys are actually paying attention. Anyway, nature has been winning by a good amount. 54% think that nature will do, and then solids and abstract images split the other half. Not a single vote for Gary's mug. Well, that's what he gets. He should be cuter, right? His fault. Anyway, so let me close it. And I think Lisa just confirmed it's not on my screen, because sometimes it kind of ends up on my screen. I don't know why. Okay, now hide. Hopefully it's gone. Anyway, so the final thing I want to share with you guys as far as PIXL are a few things. If you are dying to get samples of this, it's live on frasch.com/samples. You can order those now. They are also en route to our sales reps. So our sales reps, if you connected with our sales reps, or you happen to be one of our sales reps, you can get them this week. And Material Bank, we're just waiting for it to go live on Material Bank. It should be any moment. So that will be the other place where you can get all the colors and shapes, so you can get your hands on it. And just upcoming classes, we have several CEUs coming in the following months, and that is kind of it for me. I knew this will be quick and easy, and I'm glad I was able to do it a little shorter for you guys. If there's any questions, please type them into the question section. I'll be happy to answer them. The best thing always is two things. Reach out to your sales reps. They can absolutely help you. And another one is, like I always say, the smartest folks in this building are behind an email called quotes@frasch.com. They're our estimators. They're really, really good with figuring out how much you need, what you need, and the application, so they can certainly help you with all of that as well. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you sitting with me here for a little bit, and I hope you guys are as excited about PIXL as I am, and really everyone here at the office. Thank you again, and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.